All right.
Yeah, great. Same old shit.
I'm Credo.
I'm Angry Cooter, the social assassin.
Episode 259 of another wrestling podcast. Cooter, is it hot in here or is it just me?
I'm drinking a lot of tequila, so that's how I cool off, buddy.
Well, it is the summer and it's SummerSlam weekend. SummerSlam, baby. This is one of the biggest shows, the second biggest show the WWE has to offer. And they're starting to make
You feel like it's
bigger.
the second?
Well,
I think it's the third. That's just my opinion.
Royal Rumble?
That's right. I'm going to say Rumble is 2, Mania is 1, and SummerSlam is number 3.
Survivor Series number 4?
Listen, they can't all be winners now, can they?
Well, that's true. But we are in the summer, and it's time to slam it, Cooter. I don't know, 2024 SummerSlam.
Pause.
I got to think of catchphrases. I don't know. It's the summer. You want to slam it? No.
No.
All right.
No. Moving along.
Well, it is SummerSlam. 2024 happening, and they're coming from Cleveland, Ohio. Logan Paul, The Miz, their home universe, their hometown, USA.
Home of
Cleveland.
the CM Punk curse.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
When you think of summer, do you think of Cleveland? Like that's
I think
summer.
I said this like a couple of weeks ago because I asked you where SummerSlam was, and when you say Cleveland, I was like, who the fuck thought that was a good idea?
You don't really think summer in Cleveland. It's like, hey, I'm going to my summer home in Cleveland.
Yeah, it's like that episode of Married with Children where they go to Dumpwater, Florida. What the fuck are we talking about? Cleveland.
Well, get ready, kids, because SummerSlam's happening in Cleveland. Hi, we're in Cleveland. Cleveland's now we're not going to have any fans from Cleveland because they're going to hate us. But anyway, a lot of matches are happening. We don't have to talk about every match. But, you know, I think SummerSlam is going to be great. No matter what happens, no matter where it is, it's SummerSlam. Some of these matches have finally been put together. There's no particular order, but let's just talk about some of the things. You mentioned Cleveland hometown native, Logan Paul. He's going to be going up against LA Knight.
That has been an amazing build-up.
For the United States Championship.
Yes.
And there's a few things out there because I want to think about this. Think about this really deep now. Think about LA Knight, first of all, because go back. Before Randy Orton, before CM Punk made their return in Survivor Series, LA Knight was hotter than hell, hotter than whatever.
Hot as fish grease, baby, yeah.
And, you know, he was up there, right? Randy Orton returns, CM Punk returns. Kind of took, you know, because like they had nothing else to root for in a way. Did he kind of lose his fizzle back then?
You feel like it took the wind out of his sails.
Yeah.
It kind of stunted his push a little bit.
A little bit. I mean, everybody still loves him, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, it's like not as big as what it was last year.
I don't think it needs to be. I think I've always seen him as a great talent. This is going to be a dick thing to say, but like I've always found him as a great complimentary talent.
Yeah.
Like he's a guy you want on the card. He's a guy who's, you know, going to move that merch. He's a guy you want to see on TV. He's got a great fan base, great following. But there are bigger stars than him. There's always going to be people that I feel like are always going to be more popular than him. I could be wrong. I mean, I knew a lot of people who said he would never make it on the main roster, and he made it as far as he did to the top of the card. He had those great matches with Roman, you know, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, he's proven everybody wrong. He could probably prove me wrong even more down the line. But I've always seen him as that complimentary talent. That's just me. I mean, what can I tell you?
No, for sure. And, you know, I always say don't quote us on facts or dates or, well, we're trying to do this out of memory, right? We're not typing up a whole thing here. But if Knight loses and Logan retains, I think Logan will be one of the longest reigning United States champions in history.
In history or in WWE US title history?
In WWE US title.
Okay, fair enough.
So I don't quote me. I know it's some kind of fact like that if he retains. Now, if he doesn't retain and Knight wins, that would be his first main roster title championship. I mean, he hasn't had anything up there. I think the only championship he's had before that was one of the remember when he had the $1 million championship in NXT?
Oh, in
he had
NXT, yeah, that was cool.
So, I mean, he hasn't had a main roster title in a way. Not even tag team champions. So he hasn't, you know, this could be his first major.
You mean they haven't put him in a hodgepodge team yet?
Not yet. That's the thing. That's a whole other show, Cooter. That's like, that's on the I think
that's going to be the new list of Credo?
It's on the list. It's on the mixed tag teams where you just put them together for no reason. It's like a trigger word for me. You want to make a tag team? Trigger. Anyway, no, but seriously, this is a good match because at the end of the day, if Logan wins, he's going to make history. If Knight wins, he's going to, it's one of those things where if you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, but...
It kind of bothers me.
It bothers you.
It does.
Why?
Okay. And this is going to sound hypocritical because when we talk about people like Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns at the top of the card, holding on to the main titles.
Yeah.
We don't see them enough. Those belts need to be defended. I feel that more so with, say, the IC and the U.S. titles. That's just my opinion because I've always viewed those as the workhorse titles.
Yep.
And Logan Paul isn't exactly a, shall we say, full-time kind of guy. He is a special attraction. I don't mind seeing him in high-profile matches. I hate the fact that they have a workhorse title on him because as talented as he is, I just don't view him as that workhorse. He's not like, all right, the IC title run with John Cena. No. He was defending that belt every week in an open challenge. It was great for the belt. It raised the prestige of the title. He's not really raising the prestige of the U.S. title.
Yeah.
He's using the U.S. title to raise his prestige, even though he is amazing.
No, yeah.
It's not working for me.
Yeah, and one of the guys I think honestly, and it's one of those things you want to hate to admit, it's where like I don't really care for Logan Paul, but at the same time I have to admit he's done pretty great matches. He's done great work for what he's done, coming in as a quasi celebrity into this world of pro wrestling.
Yes.
Like at first it was like, oh great, they're gonna do that. And then you're like, oh well, I guess he did that cool.
Yeah.
Oh that's great. And I can't hate him, I guess, because he's not making a mockery of it. He's making it more interesting for outsiders to watch because he has a huge fan base of YouTubers,
and
right?
He's busted his ass, and
he's putting in the work,
and he's showing respect to the business. So you have to give him credit.
And for a guy like this too, and this could be a whole show, but like a Logan Paul, to where I think they even say Ronda Rousey was upset because they were giving him a chance to work over certain matches longer than maybe she was getting. But at the same time, you got to put yourself in their shoes to where he's not a wrestler. He hasn't been training to be a wrestler, so you kind of have to give him like more special treatment than guys who have been doing it for 20 years, right? To where he's not.
Wait, Rhonda said that about Logan?
Yeah, she said that, like something to that effect. Once again, it's out there. There's something out there. Uh-oh.
Shut up, bitch. Okay? He's put in serious work. He was at the Performance Center doing his damn thing.
Yep.
He's had better moments in the ring than you've had ever. I don't really care. I'm sorry. He has a better WWE career than she ever had. Her best moment was watching Becky Lynch pin her ass to the mat at fucking WrestleMania. I do not care about Ronda Rousey. I don't like bitter bitches. I'm sorry. You ain't snapping my arm, so get the fuck out of here.
All right.
Go back to Ring of Honor. Go collect your check from Tony Khan or whatever the fuck it is you're doing. Nobody cares.
He's triggered, ladies.
We like Shayna Baszler better than you anyway. Nobody cares about Ronda Rousey. You got booed out of the fucking building for the better part of a year and a half. Nobody cares about Ronda Rousey. Moving on.
This is great. I feel like the puppeteer of what triggers Angry Cooter, and I could just pull on these strings now. I'm storing that for another time.
I feel better now. Thank you. I appreciate that.
More Patron for you?
Yes.
Yeah. There you go.
I got to calm down. That one really... You razzled my feathers off.
There you go. Well, at the end of the day,
Ronda Rousey.
This match doesn't bother me. Right? It's gonna be a great match.
Yeah.
It's either who wins. I'm intrigued to see what happens with what goes on. Either one for me. I don't. Do you want to pick a winner of this, or do you want to take a guess? I mean,
I'd like to see Knight get it because I think he could be that workhorse guy. But again, I hate the belt being on Logan Paul. But him in title matches is kind of cool, and he is a special attraction. I hate the fact that it's that belt.
Sure.
I don't know. That's just me.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I think Logan's held it long enough. I think moving it to Knight, I think, is probably the best decision for a SummerSlam. Logan could be fit into anybody else with even the IC or what. Yep.
I'm just surprised he hasn't put that Prime bottle on the fucking title, like on them side plates, because it would look like two dicks on the side of the belt.
Prime.
I just shit on both Logan Paul and Ronda Rousey in less than 5 minutes. Beat that, guys. Cheers.
Another shot for you. So moving right along. How about the the Women's World Championship? Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley. Rhea's been out for several months with her injury. Liv Morgan kind of took her place, and now we're having the fight over with like a Dom Mysterio in the cage kind of a match. Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with Dom, but what do you think? I mean,
does it piss you off that like you're jealous of Dominic Mysterio? Because I'm loving. He has the right kind of heat.
Yep.
That crowd boos the shit out of him. And now you got like two of the hottest girls on the roster.
In an angle, fighting over you.
Fighting over Dominic Mysterio, Ray Ray's kid. Like, this is the best thing on this has probably been my favorite build-up on the entire card. Just Dominic Mysterio in the Judgment Day and the way that storyline has been progressing has just been absolutely incredible for me.
No, yeah, 100%. I mean, incredible athletes, both of them. Liv really never got too much time to shine when she, was made champion before, or it wasn't even the World Championship. But, I don't think anybody had not the trust in her, the hope in her, the whatever in her, but like they didn't really give her a good angle to work. This has been a really great angle for her to be in right now. I think
she also came in a shitty time. I feel like there were really big stars that they were trying to build Rhea at the time.
Yeah.
Bianca Belair was on fire at that point.
She was always like an afterthought in a way.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, she's just awesome.
Yep.
I mean, in the ring, maybe not the greatest. She can hold her own. She's entertaining. But her progressing the storylines, which is what gets me invested into that match could be the drizzling shits, but we're going to remember it for how it ends, the finish, and what happens after the fact. Those are one of those things where actually, to me, honestly, the match itself doesn't matter.
Sure.
That's just me.
No, of course. And I think, I think this match can be almost like a make or break for the Judgment Day, to where there's a lot of things that could happen with this. Could Dom side with Liv? Could Rhea break away from this and say,
totally happening?
There's so many things behind it. So there's more intrigue into just these two fighting with Dom Mysterio, but also with like Judgment Day. So
do your called it moment. What are you thinking right now?
I think it goes back to Rhea. She's the hottest talent out there. But here's the thing. Okay, so I think Rhea, putting it back on Rhea, because she was a few months before she was injured, she was like one of the hottest things going in WWE. People are tuning in for her. She's main eventing Perth, Australia pay-per-views. She's one of the biggest names they have right now.
Okay,
put it back on her just to finish out the year, kind of a thing. You made a Liv Morgan. Maybe, or, if you kept it on Liv, I don't really see this. Like, this is SummerSlam. I think being one of their biggest pay-per-views, I think you change it up here. And I don't know.
Wrong.
I'll stick with Rhea, though.
Wrong.
Okay. Yep.
This is going to be the greatest heel turn ever. Dominic is turning on Rhea and siding with Liv because it's shown that Rhea can carry the belt.
Yeah. I
feel like if you put the belt back on her too soon, you run into the Cody Rhodes situation where it's what? You know what I mean?
It's like a double turn, almost like make Rhea more of a face.
Because I feel like people have been enjoying, say, Cody Rhodes more chasing the belt,
have her than
carrying it.
Yeah,
I think Rhea chasing that belt now is going to be the better storyline, because what happens to Liv if she doesn't have that belt?
Yeah.
She's going to go back to the bottom of the pile, and she has a great character, and she's moving the needle.
Yeah.
I mean, numbers-wise, storyline-wise, it's the hot thing going. I think the right thing to do is have Dom turn on her, turn on Rhea, side with Liv Morgan, and I think you're going to see a giant split in the Judgment Day, and I can't wait to be that internet bark and go, #called it.
Well, I think it's intrigue from both sides right there. Another great match. So far, two great matches on SummerSlam that we're going to be loving, and I think well worth the price of admission. So you have the Women's World Championship that done. How about the WWE Intercontinental Championship match? Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. I'm sure anything else maybe could change last minute for this match, but Braun's still fresh. You talked about it last week. This is his first major feud, first major title on the main roster.
Yep.
They're really behind Braun. I mean, the dude has his own camera angle above the ring now for a spear.
For that running spear around the ring.
Like, I know they love him, and once again, there's nothing but like they're doing it right. Like it's taken a while to get to the main roster. They didn't want to rush it, and now that he's been progressing as being like a dominant force on Raw. So I don't know.
I love that camera angle.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy that they did that for him. Do you think that it would have had the same impact for, say, when Braun Strowman does it?
I mean, they did have the train noise of the
the choo choo. Yeah, but I mean from the video perspective, because we've talked previously about how the way they're shooting the show is completely different, and it's making us enjoy it more. Do you think they could maybe that it would have added interest to, say, somebody like a Braun Strowman, for him to get that as an established character, to kind of get him back into the mix? Because he's basically being used as a comedy job.
No, I know. And, I think it needs to just be used more than for just Braun Breaker. Like, it's a great idea to showcase talent doing something in a different way. Like, when they show that angle, it's automatically in my head that he's going to spear somebody.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be a spear every time, but it could be something else.
It's kind of like a spoiler now.
I know. It's like, it's coming. And then so, but I don't know. I think, it's been really good for Braun the past few months. They're really making him look good. But now going into Sami Zayn is the guy who defeated Gunther.
I said that last time.
And that's so, like, do you
remember
do it
Weber?
at SummerSlam?
Remember?
Go back to the last episode.
Go back to that episode
2
where
episodes ago.
But kicked your back in hard.
So, I wouldn't be upset if Braun won it. It's made sense the way they've built him. At the same time, I would still like to see Sami Zayn hold on to this, because
I would too.
After beating somebody after 600 something plus days, like, he could only hold on to it for like 2 pay-per-views or something. I don't know. I think, I don't know, for beating a streak that long, maybe you should go on a little bit longer. But at the same time, it's SummerSlam.
I feel like this when it comes to Braun. What happens to him? Yeah. What kind of feud do you put him in if he doesn't get the belt this time?
Yeah.
It's that, like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't type of thing, because depending on who you put him up against, and I have faith in their ability to write another great storyline for him. But you kind of put him in a title picture, and I think the fans are looking at him where if it's anything less than that now, it doesn't have the same oomph. You know what I mean?
Sure. Do you think, I don't know, is that what you're going to think? You think a Sami Zayn victory would be right?
I'm not even going to call this one. I'm going to be happy either way, because, like I said, that last episode, a couple episodes ago rather, Sami beat Gunther. He held that belt for 600 plus days. I think title reigns need to mean something.
Sure.
That's important. But I'm also looking at the future of somebody like a Braun Breaker, where it's like, what do you do with him if he doesn't win?
Yeah.
I mean, you could have him wreak havoc and go on to something else and just destroy anybody and everybody, and he'd be like his own one-man NWO and beat the shit out of everybody. That might be kind of cool. I mean, but is he ready for something like that? Is he ready to be that guy who's going to get elevated even higher? Because I feel like if you don't elevate him higher than an IC title and you put him lower, you're losing stock.
Sure. And one of those things, too, it's like when you have these long streaks, the last thing you want to do is have another long streak. And I think a guy like Braun would be a guy who could deserve like another long streak. And it's like, I don't know. I don't want to see another long streak. It's going to, it's too much of the same thing. They got to move these around a little bit more just to elevate some of these guys. So, either way, it's another match I'm not mad at. Like, I'm happy to see what happens. And I'm not going to change my channel.
No, of course not. And they got great chemistry, and I think that match is going to be phenomenal, just like the last one was.
Sure. Now, speaking of changing the channel, we have Women's Championship, WWE Women's Championship match, Nia Jax versus the WWE Women's Champion Bayley, because Nia is the queen of the ring, so she earned her spot to fight for this title.
I'm going to be very honest about something here.
You want to go to the next match? We can go to the next match if you want. It's okay.
No. I'm being dead serious right now. Ever since, when it comes to me watching SmackDown, I go to YouTube and I'll check out the hottest clips that they'll put up from the show. I haven't seen a clip of Bayley since she's won the belt at WrestleMania. I could be wrong, but listen, it's very easy to go to that WWE page and see, what happened on SmackDown. She's never featured. Yeah. She hasn't been featured in quite a long time. The first time I saw her featured was her breaking, was that 2 weeks ago when she broke the briefcase for Tiffany Stratton?
Yep.
So it's the first time I've seen her. I haven't no idea what's going on with her. she had this great moment, and I feel like nothing's happened since.
No, for sure. I mean, I'm not a Bailey fan. I think I liked her more in NXT when she was that Bailey.
It's because Credo wanted a hug. You fucking weirdo.
She didn't give me a hug. But her as a heel never worked for me. She's like that. She's got like not a baby face in terms of wrestling, but she has like a baby face, right?
Be careful, Credo. Careful. Don't get us canceled.
A baby face, a cute face. And so you try to make her a bad guy, and she's still got the baby face. Like, you can't take her seriously as a bad guy because she looks too good in a way.
So who's she facing at SummerSlam?
Nia Jax. And so,
What do you think Nia Jax is going to wear to the ring?
Mud flaps isn't trending just yet, but she has her own array of outfits for what she could wear. Episode 257 for that one, I believe.
I'm going to be honest with you. They had a pretty decent rivalry in NXT. They had pretty good chemistry. This might not be a bad match.
Yeah.
I mean, I know how you have a, dislike for Nia Jax and Japanese wrestlers and all sorts of other things. But especially Nia. These two have good chemistry. I think they have the ability to put on a good match if Nia doesn't, do what Nia does and fuck up and hurt somebody when she shouldn't be protecting them.
Sure. And, but looking at this, too, she did break Tiffany's Money in the Bank contract briefcase. I mean, you're looking at this match. You have Bailey and Nia Jax, who have been around for over 10 years, probably. They've been there for a while. I don't know. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Almost at least a decade. So they're kind of the old fish in the sea right now. Tiffany Stratton is only in her 20s. Coming in.
So now you're calling Nia old.
What?
Just add on to that. Yeah.
Okay,
Sally's going to get us canceled, buddy.
So when I'm so hot in here, is it these lights? No. So Nia Jax, in all seriousness, going against Bailey, if she wins, I see like a Tiffany Stratton cashing in on her to where it sucks for Nia or it sucks for Bailey. I mean, Bailey's only held it since WrestleMania. Nia, she was just, I think, a Raw Women's Champion, but not a Women's Champion. And she hasn't really held any other singles titles, I believe. So, it's more for her.
She was the Raw Women's Champion?
Yeah, and that was it. And
Oh, that's right. She won that belt at Mania against oh God, what's the
I don't know. We have
Alexa Bliss.
Maybe. Yeah.
Remember the whole bullying thing? They were trying to make Nia Jax a face, which I know how much you love because Alexa Bliss was bullying her because she had mud flaps. And then I think they put the mud flaps on the belt, which was really awesome. So,
but I mean,
are you uncomfortable?
I'm uncomfortable.
Okay.
So I think it's a Tiffany Stratton. I think if any match, this would be great to do it at Mania. I think she's hot right now. To put her out, gives her more credibility. Bailey, I don't know. I don't see her holding it. I see Nia winning and then Nia getting cashed in on to have a Nia a feud with Tiffany kind of thing.
I agree. I feel like Bailey had her moment. Yeah. That was what she needed. I think Bailey.
She's not at the top of the heap anymore. There's other girls that are coming up like a Tiffany that are people want to see more of. And I don't know. She's not. Doesn't have that same kind of fan base, I guess.
Bailey winning that title was the end of the storyline with her and that weirdo group.
Yeah.
Where she was just it was the land of the misfit toys.
Yep.
I never understood that group. We had 3 Japanese girls, an Australian, and Bailey. What the fuck are we doing? That was great writing. That was probably a Bruce Pritchard thing. It was like a League of Nations type of thing.
Yeah, right.
Fucking hell.
I don't know. And, it's these, once again, I'm not a Bailey fan, but I feel like she hasn't really found herself ever since being that face from NXT. She never worked out as a heel. There are fans of Bailey. I'm not one of them. She's not on the list. Just not a fan of her.
Bailey's not on the list
not
of
on
Credo.
The list. Nope. But Nia is, and that's a whole other.
Okay, so all right, so let's update the list. It's hodgepodge tag teams and Nia Jax.
Yeah.
Okay, write that down, Sal. We're starting a new list of Credo. That's the one right there.
So a lot of things that could have happened since WrestleMania haven't, especially for this match, the World Heavyweight Championship match. Damian Priest versus the King of the Ring, Gunther. So I mean, I feel like the writing's been on the wall. I feel like they want to make Gunther the World Heavyweight Champion. even just going all the way into Mania kind of a thing to holding it to the end kind of a thing. Damian Priest, I don't think really had the good spotlight being a world champ. I mean, we've talked about him to where they kind of try to make him a world champ, but at the same time wasn't being showcased in the ring. I think he just beat Braun Strowman a few weeks ago to kind of give him some kind of elevation of beating like a Braun Strowman, especially the guy who used to flip like semis. But, I don't know. They really haven't – I know he's a heel, but they haven't really portrayed him as a good world heavyweight champ.
What about Priest?
Priest, yeah. Yeah,
they're really trying to make him a face.
Yeah, and it's not working like what they want. I don't know.
I could see them wanting to put the belt on Gunther, and for a very good reason. I mean, he's amazing to watch. He literally is the total package. He has every aspect you would want as a world champion.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And with Damian Priest, I think the best thing for him is to lose that belt to Gunther.
Yeah. And it's another way to break up from the thing.
That's exactly right. That's going to be my second half of the called it moment. Yeah. Because I feel like Finn Balor is going to cost him that belt. And that's going to be the split. We're going to have a whole new Judgment Day. It's going to be Finn Balor, the Australian prick, whatever his fucking name is. I could care less what that little midget's name is.
The Funko Pop?
Yeah. He has shorter legs than not Roderick Strong. Who am I thinking of from Undisputed Era? Adam Cole. He has shorter legs than Adam Cole, for Christ. He has shorter legs than this fucking Bobby Lashley figure, for Christ's sake.
I didn't even know what we had on there. You got a Bobby Lashley. That's great.
There's a Omos, Tribal Chief.
They change every week. It's all right.
That's you know who that is.
That's one for the books. I don't know.
All right. Anyway, so what were we saying? Oh yeah, whole new Judgment Day. You got the sawed-off little prick. You got to have Finn Balor. You're gonna have Dominic Mysterio. It's going to be Liv Morgan.
You don't even need Judgment Day, I don't think, after this. They can kind of go their own ways.
I think they can keep a solid, because they have a solid nucleus. Because you have Carlito there, too.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Because I feel like he's going to take that place of, like, Damian Priest to that louder. See, that's the thing. He's been like, do you remember that movie, A Christmas Story?
Yeah.
Okay, and you had the bully who beat the shit out of that one kid.
Yep.
And there was the toady behind him who was like, yeah. Like, Carlito was, to me, is like the fucking toady.
Yeah.
Behind, like, everybody, like, because he's always, like, repeating what the boss would say. And, yeah, man, you shouldn't do that. It's not cool. It's not cool. It's fucking great. But I could see him not necessarily in that Damian Priest position, but, kind of sort of
almost like a new triple threat. If you have Carlito, you have Finn Balor, and you have we call him Funko, the JD Funko.
Yeah, that's what JD Funko Pop.
Cornette calls him, but
does he call him that?
Calls him JD Funko or whatever.
I love Cornette.
It's the nicknames.
And I'm telling you, you're going to have Dominic and Liv in there. It's going to be 5 people in there again. It's just going to be, different characters.
Judgment Day 2.0, the Wolf Pack. I don't know. That's gonna.
Oh, God. Instead of the pink and black.
Yeah. So Damian Priest though had a World Heavyweight Championship run, not probably the greatest run, but I think once again we're gonna see him more of as a face. Did great work when Bad Bunny was around. He was doing good. I think he's fine. It's just I think in this group I don't think he needs to be there anymore. Maybe
you had to put over a fucking Puerto Rican pop rapper or whatever the
hashtag Bad Bunny. We're gonna get trending tonight on
and that's the crazy thing. Bad Bunny actually surprised me as a in-ring performer. He was actually pretty fucking good. It's just not believable to me.
Yeah.
To see a fucking little guy like him.
Because he looks like Tony Khan, kind of. If you look at it, he looks like Tony Khan if Tony Khan was actually wrestling, and he doesn't have the build or athleticism. But yeah, like Bad Bunny Tony.
Yeah, but against somebody like this, the height of Damian Priest.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on.
So, I think the writing's on the wall, right? Like Gunther, new World Heavyweight Champion. I think he needs it. He deserves it. He's the king of the ring. I think it's his next step in his own evolution, if you will, of, being one of the greatest wrestlers, I think, of this era.
He might be the guy who beats Bruno Sammartino's record as champion.
Yeah.
No, I just said that to piss all you fucking marks off. Because, oh my God, Roman held it for 3.5 years. Wait till Gunther holds it for like 10, you fucking marks. I cannot wait to break your balls every week.
Oh, well, hopefully, I don't think he'll need it for 666 days like the IC championship, but I think having him, I think he'll definitely make that world championship matter, especially coming into the next few months into WrestleMania, you know? So I think whoever he fights at WrestleMania it's going to be an awesome match.
I hope they put him in a storyline as a love interest with Nia Jax just to piss you off.
Oh, God.
All right, moving on.
So, what could have happened with that World Heavyweight Championship to where you could have had Drew McIntyre cash in and become the new World Heavyweight Champion. Punk is kind of screwed him over the past few months, which has been awesome because being injured on one of his first matches
they've
back.
Screwed each other over. They've basically been giving each other receipts since the Rumble.
Because, if you wouldn't want to have seen a Gunther versus Drew McIntyre, granted, because
say that again?
You wouldn't, if Drew won the cash-in for the Money in the Bank and became the new World Heavyweight Champion, I wouldn't want to see Gunther versus Drew right away. I think Damian versus Gunther is good right now, I think just for him to beat Damian Priest, I think.
I don't know. I think I would have liked to see a McIntyre Gunther. I mean,
we can still get it.
Listen,
but I mean,
we
right
probably
now,
will. But
yeah.
I just think back to Mania. I think back of Gunther, my man Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre in that triple threat for the IC belt. That was that 2 years ago?
Yeah,
that was one of the best matches I think I've ever seen. I thought it was incredible. And what was so funny is that I think Drew McIntyre had the fucking hardest chops out of anybody in that match, including Gunther.
Sure.
So I mean. That would be a serious ass kicking just waiting to happen.
Sure.
I don't know.
All right.
Okay.
Well, at the end of the day, this is CM Punk's first match back since he got injured, with a special guest referee, Seth Rollins, during this match. So anything kind of like everybody can continue their feud with this. But you, sir, as a man of peak physical form at the age of 42 or whatnot.
41.
41.
Don't date me, motherfucker.
What do you think about a CM Punk now being a little bit older? Is he going to be more prone to these injuries? Or is this something that we need to worry about? Because
it's Cleveland. He's going to get hurt again. He always gets hurt in Cleveland.
That's the Cleveland curse, right?
There's a giant list of things that happened in Cleveland with him. I don't know it off the top of my head, but there's injuries. I want to say his last match in WWE was in Cleveland. I want to say that Royal Rumble. I'm probably completely wrong, but there's just a giant list of shit that happened to CM Punk in Cleveland, and I wouldn't be surprised if he got hurt again. I don't want to see it happen, but I do want to say this to all you marks out there who were pissing and moaning about Drew McIntyre cashing in, winning that belt, and it was a wasted cash. And look what you have now, because we've furthered that storyline, because now Seth Rollins got pissed off. I told you, wait fucking 5 minutes.
Yep.
Just wait. Believe in storytelling. And now we actually have, you know what this reminds me of?
What's that?
SummerSlam, where Bret Hart was facing The Undertaker, and we had a special guest referee in Shawn Michaels.
Yep.
Do you remember that shit?
I remember that, yes.
He missed hitting Bret with the chair and smacked Undertaker in the head, and he begrudgingly had to count to 3 for Bret, and that furthered their storyline. It's good storytelling. Just wait 5 minutes before you get on your fucking keyboards, please, because this has really been, since the Royal Rumble, an entertaining. How many months? Is this a 9-month buildup?
Yeah, and that's like I'm happy they've kept CM Punk alive in the shadows while he's recovering with these kind of things that he can do, like screwing him at Mania, screwing him at all these other shows. And, it keeps CM Punk relevant. And for Drew McIntyre, go back to Drew McIntyre a few months ago to where he was almost not irrelevant, but like being pushed aside for something else, and how being able to feud with CM Punk has kept him on like a main roster. He re-signed because of all this too.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's kept him in the spotlight. So if at the end of the day he's got as much as he probably hates CM Punk, he probably loves him for just being able to use that kind of popularity back and forth.
It doesn't matter. He made the right choice. What would have happened if he went to AEW?
Yeah,
he would have had like a great fucking debut. They would have put him in some main event on the pay-per-view. And then he'd be doing fucking comedy shticks with fucking what's his face, the Japanese guy from the Elite.
Oh, you're talking about blonde
blonde John Cena?
Cornette.
Okada?
Yeah, O'Cody is what.
O'Cody, that's what he
the
calls
blonde
him.
hair. That's how I
Yes.
go to it. You got to remember those things for.
He would have got lost in the shuffle with the rest of the shiny new toys, like my mom said, and end up in fucking catering. So thanks, CM Punk. Don't get mad at CM Punk.
I'm saying.
Thank him.
I'm saying. Two of the biggest names going right now to where I think it's going to be a great match. Hopefully they protect each other. I don't want to see any more injuries.
I don't either.
I want to see CM Punk around for a long time, and especially get that WrestleMania main event. We'll see what happens, but
Do you think he ever gets it?
I think he does, especially the popularity and just see how much people tune in. Like, you got to reward that. You know what I mean? Like, you got to reward the people that are there for that.
I mean, they
love them or hate them.
They reward usually stars like that for less.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, with a different people holding the reins of the kingdom, I think there's a better chance now with that happening. Especially it's 2 nights now, so it doesn't matter if you're the main event of night 1 or night 2. But do you think he's probably going to go after that night 2 main event, right? He wants to be on the
dude,
night 2.
if you're not the last match, I don't give a fuck.
I know,
I don't want to
right?
hear this 2-night bullshit. I mean, they got away with it this year because of the magnitude of the fucking match.
Yeah.
And then the year before was what?
Don't put me on the spot. I can't remember. Yes.
Owens and Stone Cold.
Yes.
So, I mean,
about that.
yeah, Kevin Owens can say he main evented WrestleMania, and it was against a huge name.
Sure.
So, I do you feel like that's something that they're always going to do? Like, that main event of a night 1 is going to be the special attraction where you're going to get, like, say, a Brock Lesnar or a CM Punk for, like, the end of time. And then, like, night 2 is going to be your big title match that you've been angling for the whole year.
I mean, it's a good way so that every kid gets a trophy, everybody gets a match. I'm still against that everybody gets a match. I'd rather have one show. But with today's day and age, there's so much talent that, like, you need those 2 nights or else you're going to cut a lot of people short. So I think if you kind of have it set up like that as your bread and butter.
A lot of people short like JD Funko Pop.
JD Funko Pop. Another person who's never going to listen to this just because of that. But no, I mean, there's a lot
Grow
of
up, motherfucker.
Well, just to round it out, Cooter, one of the main events, or the main event, we're going to have the undisputed WWE Championship match, Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa. So many things can happen. The Bloodline story has been in the backbone of WWE for the past few years. They're still building onto it, bringing in names. Something even could happen this match where another name appears. Who knows? I don't know. There's something could happen, but they're definitely building to whether it's Survivor Series for like a whole Samoan dynasty versus, the WWE, or that could even build into Rumble, into Mania. I think they can still go a long way with this, but it's almost going to be like a Rock's bloodline versus a Roman's bloodline. How do we get there? I don't know, but it's kind of like something that's happening with this. So, I mean, I'm still intrigued with the bloodline. I love what's going on, and I love how they've rebuilt. And this kind of a match, I think this is probably, since Mania, a feud that I could see, Rhodes with over the next few months going after the bloodline. But him losing it, I don't see that happening anytime soon. Especially not.
I do.
Like now, to a Solo, or you think he'll lose at SummerSlam, or no?
No,
It's still a little bit. But
no. If anything, I want to see. To me, it depends.
Yeah.
If he's going to lose it pre-WrestleMania, I think it would be at the Rumble. That's just me.
Sure.
We've had a lot of doors closed that need to be reopened.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are expecting our tribal chief to show back up.
Yep.
I think some people, such as myself, are expecting The Rock to show up to counteract that.
Sure.
He's going to be that enforcer role.
Yeah.
Like, he's not the tribal chief, but like he's the boss.
Sure.
He's the final boss.
Yeah.
Okay. We heard Rock say he was going to go after Cody for the belt. So I don't think Solo's going to win. I think there needs to be a Rock Cody match for the belt.
Sure.
But the rumor is Roman versus The Rock at Mania.
Yeah.
So how do you fit all this in a certain amount of time? Unless you're going to have Cody hold the belt for the long haul, because I feel like they're going to do a Bloodline versus Bloodline at Survivor Series. So that's out.
Yeah.
You're not going to save a match like Rock versus Cody for like a B-level pay-per-view.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't make sense. That's something you want for the Big Four. The only way I see that is if Cody holds that belt all the way till next SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Unless they do Rock Cody at the Rumble.
And, like, you know, I don't mind Cody Rhodes as champion. I love it. I don't think you need a Rock versus Roman for any championship. That's big on its own. Like, you don't. It's two of the biggest names. It doesn't need to be for a championship. It could be for the People's Championship that he just brought back for. He just got whatever. But that's a whole
the Muhammad Ali belt. That's a little weird.
I know.
I don't know.
And I know. I mean, that's what they wanted to do, right? The whole thing where The Rock decided he'd listen to the fans, and that's the fans spoke, and so that's what happened. So I mean, for this, I don't know. I don't think this. At the end of the day, this doesn't need to lead to the championship right away for them. I think the family's going to have to work it out. They're going to have to. It's going to be family and family for a while. It doesn't have to be for belts. It could just be for supremacy of who's the better family, right, or whatever. And that could work its way all the way till Mania to where now it's the final boss. So you have like the Usos go against the Guerrillas of Destiny. You have Solo go against what the other side.
Half your WrestleMania card is going to be fucking Samoans. It's so weird.
That's just night one.
I know that's night one. But let me ask you this. I know we're going to get off topic here. Survivor Series.
Yeah.
The rumor is going to be Bloodline versus Bloodline. Are we having a 4-on-4 or a 5-on-5?
I think it's going to be one of those things to where even if you didn't do family versus family, because like even if it's too fast to rush it, which I don't think it is, but at the same time, if you do like a Bloodline versus a Cody, like a Team WWE, I could still see them kind of doing that to where maybe somebody on the Bloodline gets hurt and then The Rock comes in for the Solo, and then somebody on Cody Rhodes' teams doesn't show up, and then you could bring Roman in for that match. I see stuff like that happening. If you do have a family versus family match, I don't know if, I feel like you could almost milk that for like a Mania thing, but yeah, it's Survivor Series, right? Like put the families against each other then.
I would do that because it would just make me think of Brett and Owen.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just weird. I know, but
you think about like the Uso side, you could have honorary Us. Sami Zayn be on their team. You know what I mean? So it's like.
But the other part of me feels like, okay, these are the people who are going to defend Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
So I could see them pulling some shit like, okay, you have the Bloodline, we'll do 4 from the Bloodline and Roman, Brock, Punk, and maybe whatever 4th you can pick up.
Yeah.
But if you do a 5-on-5, I think that would be absolutely incredible. But who do you have as a 5th guy? Or do you bring in like Brock Lesnar as your ringer?
I know.
Like you have the Bloodline as it is now with Solo, Rock, the Guerrillas of Destiny, and Jacob Fatu. And then you have, wait, who am I thinking of? Roman, the Usos.
Yep.
Sami Zayn.
Sami, yeah.
And Brock, or maybe a Punk.
Yeah. Or like, that's the thing is like if you're doing like, if it was like a team if you had to put Cody in that match, is a Cody, and then, you put the Usos with Cody, and then you don't have, whoever gets a 4 or 5, even Sami Zayn on that. But then it's like, I think if you have the last person out of that family match is like Roman showing up when they need him, it's going to be like one of the big, like it's his return, just his music
Nobody
playing.
cares about the match. That's the crazy part. The main event of SummerSlam, nobody gives a fuck about the match.
No.
They care about the aftermath.
Yep.
Like,
they want to see how they get to
this is the match that's setting up for the next year.
Yep.
From now till Mania.
Yep.
If not to next SummerSlam. I mean, I think that's the craziest part about it. It's the first time that I can remember that a main event match actually means jack shit, and we want to know the storyline after.
Yep.
I don't think I've ever recalled that ever happening at a SummerSlam.
No, for sure. And I mean, when you look at this whole card at the end of the day, SummerSlam looks enjoyable to me. There's maybe a bathroom break. There's got to be one, right? But at the end of the day, I'm
Credo's going to go take a shit during the Nia Jax match.
It's the only thing you can take during her matches. I mean, I don't know. That's
a funny way of talking about mud flaps, isn't it?
Oh my God. I'm never going to live this down.
No, you are fucked forever on that one. Send your hate mail to Credo at anotherwrestlingpod@gmail.com.
Oh my goodness. All the hate mail goes to you.